Be
Hey,
prepared.
Al,
Yeah,
just curious, what antenna do you have your scanner hooked up to?
I have it hooked up to my GP9,
Okay.
the VHF UHF dual band Comet antenna. However, I do have a Discone antenna up there. I believe it's I forget. It's not the Diamond make. It's the other one that they make. It's OPEC or one of the other Jetstream or one of the other ones, and it does right from 30 megs right up to 1.2 gigs,
All right.
and
Okay.
it's a general wide coverage scanner. But I'll tell you, your local 2 meter 440 antennas work perfect because all the OPP, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Transportation, Ministry of the MNR, the conservation officers, the jail system, correctional facilities across the province, the Ministry of Environment, uh, are all on 18 frequencies from 140 to 144 megs. So if you've got a 2 meter and 440 antenna, guess what? It's going to pick it up no problem at all.
Does a beautiful
Well,
job.
Oh, very
yeah,
good.
yeah, it's wonderful. So having said that, these scanners came along, then of course, the digital scanners, and then as time came on, a couple of other companies came into play, and one didn't last very long, but they did a heck of a great job, and they are called GRECOM. I don't know if anybody heard of the
GRE, yeah.
GRE and that, and they looked like this. It was, let's see if we can get that.
Not stealing your thunder, but they were bought by Whistler.
Whistler, right. Let's see if I can get this tuned in here. There we
Yeah.
go.
There it is.
GRECOM.
GRECOM, yeah.
And basically, this was the scanner with them. Works really nice. Again, I'll plug the antenna in here so that you can possibly listen to them. And let it go. It has to load up here. But the nice thing with these type of scanners that eventually came out is they became ZIP scanners, ZIP scanners. Now, you're wondering what the heck is a ZIP scanner? A ZIP scanner is that, as Rusty mentioned, the old, where did I put it? So as soon as I turn this one on, and again, let's see if we can get the, you'll
Yeah,
see
there it is.
the Bell FleetNet on there. And I've also put there, I was down at my son's with this for your attention, Colin. If you look, I've got Kitchener marked down there. So I've got all the frequencies for the Kitchener Waterloo Regional Police and all the other fire departments and everything else in here on this scanner. I just didn't take it off the thing.
So
But
their
is it?
police, so their
Yep,
police obviously hasn't changed over to what was it again?
the encrypted. No,
Encrypted. Oh, okay. I
no,
better get
they're
myself a scanner then.
well. If you want to hear what's
Just for
going on
fun.
in your neighborhood, absolutely. I mean, it's as police, we used to say, don't say anything on there that you wouldn't want anybody else to hear,
Right.
because people are listening. We knew that, with it,
Some of
but
you knew that. Some of you knew that.
well, some did, some didn't. But, I mean, that's the way we talked anyway. So, that's what makes it so entertaining. And so, here.
257, go ahead.
527, there's no patient. This person is just trying to get home. She is HPD, but she's going to stay with her friends. We're just assisting her to get there. She's about 50 feet from the place she's trying to get to. So we'll make sure somebody's responsible there for her to keep an eye on her. You could probably cancel, please.
And that's the
Do you have
ambulance.
an address just in case police is looking for it?
So there's the ambulance. Like, I mean, there's interesting. It sounds like they had a patient there that wanted the ambulance as a taxi to drive them home. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're going to hear out there. It's kind of interesting, and that now with the COVID, oh my God, everybody they pick up is COVID positive, and you wouldn't think that. But they do a screening on everybody, and when they bring them into the hospital, they're calling ahead and saying, we just did a test on this individual. Just be advised, they're COVID positive, and we're on our way in with the individual. And I would say 9 out of 10 patients that the MOH are picking up right now are all COVID positive. So it's amazing what you can find out and the availability of listening to that. So this was a scanner, and I'll get back to the zip with it. Zip is short for zip code. So now what happens with these newer scanners, and then Uniden came out with one. This is the Bearcat Uniden 496 scanner.
Sounds like the one you and I fought over, Al.
I'm sorry?
Sounds like the one you and I fought over down in Orlando.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah, I didn't even see you on here, Joey. Very good afternoon to you. Nice to hear you, for sure. So this one here, basically, if you know nothing about programming a scanner, this is the type of scanner. This GRECOM.
Reserve Road. I'll patrol through the area just because of the report of the partying going on.
That's the OPP there, right? So that's on there now. But this works on your zip code or your postal code in North America, because all the new scanners now have what they call an SD card, micro SD card that's put in there with every frequency in North America off radioreference.com. You download the data bank into the scanner, and then you go, okay, I got this scanner. I don't know what the heck is going on in my community, but I'm in Orlando, Florida at Mickey Mouse World. Okay, I wanted to take my scanner. Well, you find out what the zip code of Orlando is, and you punch in, you go and start, and it asks you, do you want to go to the US or do you want to go to Canada? You push on Canada, or you push on the US. Then it says, what is the 5-digit zip code of where you are in the US? 90210, right? That's the popular one in Los Angeles or whatever the case is. Put the enter button in, and now it reads off the SD card and loads all the frequencies automatically into the scanner. Hit go, and now your scanner is completely loaded.
Usually you put in a radius too, sometimes, like how far away
within
you
a
want to be able
certain
to hear.
distance.
Yeah, so 10 miles of that zip code, and you can put service types. I don't want to listen to the media. I don't want to listen to schools. I don't want to listen to security. I just want to listen to police, fire, and ambulance. So you set up police, fire, and ambulance. You turn those modes on, turn all the other modes off, hit enter, and bang. Now you'll just hear, and it can be the local PD. It can be the sheriff's department. It can be the highway patrol, and that with it. And now you can put favorites lists in here and, basically change it around to the way you'd like to do it, and do it that way. The other nice device with these newer scanners is you can plug a GPS plug or puck in there to the side of the scanner. And if you mount this in your car as a mobile, or you have one of the mobile radios, plug the GPS into it. As you're driving down the highway, what it does is it takes the GPS coordinates from where you're located. It's like working APRS off our ham radios, right? You know how we did that, and you could follow somebody going down the highway.
It's Truckers Road, almost near the end of it. It's a resident in the bush. Clear for details?
So here's the OPP getting dispatched.
10-4.
So this is
Second unit. Complainant is reporting domestic that's happening in a bush residence. A male party has a gun on him. Isn't supposed to have weapons. The female he's with is our complainant's sister. The male party is a John Barbosa, age 50s. Complainant advising he is very dangerous. The female is a Bertha Morin. The Bertha messaged our complainant saying that the male hit her on Wednesday night and has been physically abusing her for the past 5 years. They live in a round 10 steel garage off grid almost at the end of Truckers Road. There is a report of a vicious dog at scene as well.
what's that?
Complaints requesting a wellness check on her sister.
So to answer your question, Pat, what do you hear on Manitoulin? You know, you can hear a lot. There's a lot of information that the general public has no idea what's going out there. And now with the numbers of domestic violence situations that are escalating, the number of opiate, fentanyl, we've talked about that. The calls are all day long. You know, here we are Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, and now you've got a guy with a gun assaulting his wife, you know?
Yeah, and coming back is for Sudbury, there's lots going on that's not announced on the Star or radio or TV. Lots of going on.
Yeah, it's ongoing. You just, you know, until you have a device like this, like, I mean, I know because, you know, I lived it for 35 years, but, you know, the general public, and I mean, and it's out there and it's crystal clear, like you're hearing. All you need to do is just get yourself a digital scanner, and everything is in the clear up there. OPP, Ministry of Health, MNR. You should see it during hunting season with the MNR. Some of the broadcasts that are going on, you know. So
Al, that's on the island. You say is that going through a trunking system, and that be like a specific tower that you would be hearing that on, like West Bay or something like that?
You would hear it. It's what they call multicast. So you would hear it on McCarrow Tower. You would hear it on Killarney Tower. You would hear it on West Bay, Silverwater, Elliott Lake, Sudbury. They're all linked together. So depending where you're sitting with your thing, providing you've got those towers and sites plugged in to the programming, you would hear it. So, yes.
Yeah, so Pat was talking about not being able to hear any traffic in Sudbury, but if he can, I'm sure he can get an OPP tower. You'd be able to hear all that stuff too, right?
I hear all that from here, from Garson. I hear it all. I'm on the Discone antenna.
Yeah. So the key is, how do you properly program your scanner? And that's where I'm going to go next, okay? The newest scanners that they just came out with are called the SDS, Software Defined Scanner. Analog scanner, okay, basically, punch it in, software defined, okay? Remember we talked about your regular HF rigs and now your software defined scanners? Well, a little different indeed. You turn the thing on here. Your screen comes on now. And let me plug in the external antenna on here. And now what it's doing, you'll see, it's actually loading. Let's see if we can get this. Come on. Okay. So now I'm doing OPP is all loading in here. Manitoulin Systems is loading. And now I've got the Bell FleetNet provincial government.
Caution like for Victor, for violence, offensive weapons, drugs, other criminal code. Last entry is from 1997. Female party is also 1061 for violence. No flags. Last entry is from 2000.
That's not Brian, is it, Al?
No. He's asking if it's my son transmitting it. No, that's not his voice.
Negative.
He's on night shift tonight.
So that shows a frequency. Is that the trunking frequency, or is that the actual frequency that it's been listening on? Like.
So it's showing Manitoulin 3Ops 05 is the operational channel, and it will come up with the frequency. So having said that, this is the software defined also zip scanner. So what you would do, just to give you an indication, hit the menu button, all right, and let me just get this in here. Let's see if we can get this just to show you. Come on. All right. So then it says, do that. Set your location. Do that. Enter zip code. Do you want USA or Canada? If you want Canada, then you type in your POP 1KO or P35, whatever your zip code. Hit enter, and now it will download all the frequencies and that into the scanner. And it'll start scanning, and bang, you'll start hearing everything going on the scanner. That is how simple it is with these new scanners. You don't need to go and buy crystals. You don't need to sit there for 2 hours punching in frequencies and that with it. Now, having said that, these are not cheap. This scanner here is $650 US. All right. But the technology that is in this scanner, it has scopes, it has the rainfall, or the, what do they call the?
Waterfall.
Waterfall picking up. They have something called close call. Let's say you're in a public area and you don't know, you see people walking around with handhelds talking or whatever. Put close call, it scans the whole frequency range and locks in. And now you're hearing what construction crew or police officers are talking or whatever the case is. It's an amazing radio. And this is the Uniden, the latest scanner. It's called the Uniden SDS 100. Sierra Delta Sierra sounds for, and the nice thing is full color. You can type in any color you want on the display. All you have to do is go to the display options with it. Anyway, display options with it. Let's see if we can show you there. Okay, display options. Hit that. Go to the whatever format you're doing, and now I can go and I can do that. And now it gives me a whole series of different colors. All right, that I can now toggle to each individual color, right? So if I want, there's red. If I want red on a certain thing, push the button there. Now that line on the display is now in red. And you can do background colors, front colors on it. Like, you can customize this scanner in any way you want. It is truly an amazing toy. toy, if you want to call it that or whatever. But as you can see, one of my hobbies is scanners, right? That what got me into my profession. When I was a kid, I got a police scanner, and what did it do? It put me into law enforcement. So, you know, it's amazing what happens with it. Plus, now I can monitor my son if he's screwing up on the comm center over in North Bay. So, you know, so we can see what's going. He does an amazing job. He thinks ahead in that. So, having said that, let me show you some simple things. The first thing that you may want to have a look at. Let me go here. All right. Helps to turn it off so you don't get interference. All right. Where do I want to go? I want to go here and go here. All right. So now we'll minimize this. And go here. Okay, go here, share screen, and go here. So this is what we've been talking to you about. This is the website. It's called radioreference.com, www.radioreference.com. In here, now you can subscribe to it. It is also free, so that you don't have to pay anything for the website. But if you wish to do so, you can subscribe to it. And I have an account here, V3AJB. There, as you see, I'm logged in under my account with it. But you have you have home, databases, live audio, forums, what's this? The wiki, so information about particular thing, classifieds, people selling stuff. Submit info if you have information that you want to add to the database, and anything about that and that. Okay, hang on. Judy's just calling here. She's doing the pantry upstairs. That's why I had to run, and the thing fell on her earlier this morning. So. I'll be right back, so please stand by.
Thing? What thing?
Everybody has a thing in the kitchen that may fall on you. Yes.
It sounds like the roof fell in.
Hopefully it's not the Orange fan.
Well, Al is gone and the audio is open here. I would like last week I asked for some from scanner frequencies, and I was dumbfounded and extremely pleased with the response that I got. There are a couple of singles that are that I was able to eventually put in the right information in to actually function. But I don't listen to Georgia, Tennessee alligator hunters very often. So I've got to fine tune the one in the area that I couldn't get into. Now some of them are closed. You have to register, and that's not easy with the lack of eyesight. But I really want to say thank you, guys. A lot of people sent me 2 or 3, but one particular chap sent me a group, and I stopped counting at 175. I have lots of frequencies to play with when I have a good eye day. But thanks a lot, guys. I really did appreciate that. And it's been interesting. Quite a quiet job trying to insert the correct information into the right blocks, but it's certainly I appreciate it. Now I understand there's going to be
C'est pas si c'est juste mon computer qui fait ça. La lumière ne grouille pas. Elle reste correcte, elle reste blanche.
Go ahead.
It's Claude.
No, I'm sorry.
There are going to be a couple of remote stations activated, one in Hamilton and one in Sudbury area. Before too long, that under proper conditions, you'll be able to use as remote transmitters. So we've got big things coming along in that area, and it's been a lot of fun for me to tinker around. Thanks, fellas. Really appreciate it. I had emails in my email box. Well, it was an empty email. I've never opened that email address before. So it was very interesting even to learn how to download my email by touch and look at a lot of this stuff, and I really enjoyed it. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm back, and that. So just a couple of quick websites so that you can follow up. So nice thing about this particular setup is that Radio Reference, they're the ones that look after all of information across North America. So let's say you wanted to figure out a database, okay, for a particular area. You click on databases, and now what happens is a map of Canada comes up, but you can change it. You can go to any place. If you want to go to the United States, you click on the United States, and now you'll see a map of the United States that pops up with it. Now this is the information that gets downloaded onto your SD card that plugs into the newer scanners today. Okay, and this saves you from having to go. If you remember years and years ago, we used to buy scanner books, right? And we'd open it up and you'd look up, okay, I'm going on vacation to Los Angeles, California. You'd look up California, you'd go to Los Angeles, you'd look up the police frequency, then you'd take your scanner and you'd be punching in numbers all day long into your scanner, right? Now everything is downloaded. So what happens is if you wanted to find out different information. So let's talk about California. Say you're planning a trip to California. Now, if you wonder why some are green, some are yellow, or some are in gray, they've got a thing here. The green says updated in the past 24 hours. This is how recent some of this database, it's like putting a phone book together. As soon as the phone book's printed, it's out of date, right? Well, the nice thing about this live website is it's constantly being updated with changes, new frequencies, new codes that are coming in, all kinds of stuff. So, having said that, let's say I wanted to find something out in California. I click on California, and now different areas, all the counties in California plop up. So now I want to find out about Los Angeles. So I'm going to click on Los Angeles, click on here, and now all the frequencies for that particular area are all listed here. Okay, for various different things. So here's the Sheriff's Department. See, it's listed here, Sheriff's. It gives you the information, what the channel descriptors are. Dispatch West, Tactical, Dispatch East, Command 4, Car to Car. All the information gives you all the frequencies. It gives you RM is a type. If you go over the type, it gives you what the log is. So RM would be repeater, M, mobiles, and handhelds. So it would be a repeater, mobile, handheld frequency. And that with it, and it gives you the call sign for that particular Sheriff's Department tower or system. And if you click on the highlighted area, for instance, what's pretty cool, now it gives you Ventura County of WPLX529, gives you all the particular. And now it gives you the tower information and all the particulars of that particular system. It is an amazing website if you're really into what's going on. Gives you the frequencies and all of that. Now all this information gets downloaded into your scanner automatically. Okay, with it. Like, I mean, you can't pull up a map on your scanner, but if you want to physically go and look and see what's going on, you can do that with it. So let's bring something a little closer to home. Let me go here and let me go to Canada. So let me go here, click on Canada. And now I want to go here to Ontario. And now I want to look up what's happening in the various different regions of Ontario. Well, oh, Manitoulin District. I wonder what the heck's going on there. So I click on Manitoulin District, and now it's giving me frequencies that are there. All right, so first of all, I want to look up, well, what are some of the things? Well, here's the hospital frequency, Manitoulin Health Center for the paging. Here's the frequency there. Here's the Siganak Fire Department, Central Manitoulin Fire Department, Espanola, Chaging First Nation, Northeastern Manitoulin and the Islands. So all that information is there. But I can also look, it says here, Bell FleetNet Zone 3. So what's that all about? Click on that, and now it gives me the Bell FleetNet for the OPP information there. And what it does is it lets me know where the OPP towers are. You have Mattawa, LD, North Bay, Powassan, Port Loring, Martin River, Verner, Albin, Markstay, Sudbury, Killarney, Cartier, McCarrow, West Bay, Silverwater, Elliott Lake, Warncliffe, Searchmont, Sault Ste. Marie. I mean, the list goes on and on. All those are OPP tower sites. And then what it does is it gives the control channel. So what happens with the Bell FleetNet is the OPP have been issued 18 or 22 frequencies between 138, I believe, and 144 megahertz. Different frequencies that are posted there. And what happens is you'll notice the red ones. The red ones are control channels. And how they used to operate when I drove my cruiser, okay, so I had the OPP radio system in the cruiser. It would be all squelched out, so I wouldn't hear any squelch noise or whatever. And I'm driving around from Manitoulin, and now all of a sudden I'm in Little Current, and now the signal locks onto the Killarney Tower because it's the closest tower. If I go up Highway 6 north into Birch Island, it drops Killarney and goes to McCarrow Tower because it's the next closest tower. If I come back to Little Current and I start driving west and I get up towards Honora Bay, it drops the McCarrow Tower and now I lock into the West Bay Tower. All right, so it works like a scanner in the cruiser, and it locks on to what they call control channels. The red frequencies are what we call control channels. And if you've ever heard a control channel on your VHF 2-meter rig, okay, that's not P25 digital, you'll scan across from 140 to 144 megs, and all of a sudden you'll come on a frequency that'll go sounds like that. That is the digital P25 signal that the cruisers pick up, okay, because it's being transmitted, and what it does is it automatically locks the OPP radio on these sets of frequencies on that line. Your scanner, okay, if you plug in the various different towers in there, and this is where the range setting that Rusty mentioned earlier, that say you put a 10-kilometer range of POP1KO, which is the little current, postal code. So when I do that, and I put a 10 or 20 mile kilometer radius, and the frequencies are going off, what comes on, I don't download all these towers. Like, there's no sense in putting the Cochrane tower in my scanner if I'm sitting in Little Current. There's no way in the hell I'd pick up Cochrane. But what would I pick up in Little Current? Sudbury, McCarroll, Killarney, Elliott Lake, Silverwater, maybe Warncliffe, and what it would do is scan those towers, okay, for information, and then as soon as the signal comes up on one of those groups, it would transmit that way.